Who is your target audience and what makes them care about your product? This is one of the first questions that I ask all of our clients before starting a project. From just that single answer, I'm able to frame how all video and animation should be communicated. Everything from the story, the style, the length, and where it should be placed. The problem is, however, that the answer I often get to this question is something along the lines of everyone from 18 to 100 years old, men and women of all races that care about whatever the product does. And that, of course, is just too vague to be able to pull any real information from. But how specific do you need to get before you're able to pull that great information and make great communication? Well, there's 4 main things you need to know about your audience, and in this episode of The Zweli Show, I'm going to help you understand each one so that you can start making a difference in your marketing right now. When you know a lot about your target audience and develop messages directly to them, something incredible happens. You form a connection with them. A connection that cannot be formed by running TV ads that scream at people to buy your product, or a connection that cannot be formed by cold calling a bunch of people. When you're able to connect with people on a deeper level, a lot of things happen, including people sharing your product without being asked, you'll get positive reviews, and most importantly, make more sales. So here's the 4 things that you need to know about your audience. Number 1, geographics. You need to know your audience's location in the world, as specific as you can possibly be. Are they international, are they national, regional, or local? For example, if you run a food truck, it would benefit you more to focus on the local area that you're actually able to serve. If you run something like a copywriting business, you might want to focus on a larger region or even an entire country. But again, the more specific you can be about where your audience is, the more effective your communications can be. Number 2, you need to know the demographics of your audience. That includes their age, their gender, their marital status, their income, and their ethnic background. All of these things play a role when it comes to how you communicate with your audience. Think about it. Would you talk to a 13-year-old girl with a $5 a week allowance the same way that you'd talk to a 50-year-old married man making $100,000 a year? Probably not. Number 3, psychographics. That's the activities, interests, attitudes, personality, aspirations, values, and opinions of your target person. Possibly the most important of all 4 of the things that you need to know about your audience. The idea here is that understanding what they truly care about and what drives them to make decisions. Knowing the demographics of your audience simply isn't enough. Let's take that 50-year-old married man that makes $100,000 a year and let's name him Ben. Now let's say that we also have a guy named Alex that also falls into the same demographics. What psychographics can tell you, though, is that Ben likes camping with his family, he works 40 hours a week, and he goes to church every Sunday. Meanwhile, Alex works 60 hours a week. Work is basically his profession and his hobby. The pursuit of climbing the corporate ladder is what really drives him. So while they have a lot in common, what's different about them would lead you to communicate with them probably completely different. Number 4, you need to know about their behaviors. More specifically, their usage rates and patterns when it comes to your product or industry. Is your product something that they currently use? Do they use it yearly, monthly, weekly, or daily? More importantly, how do they use your product? An example would be maybe people are buying your product most around Mother's Day as a gift. And that alone can tell you quite a bit about what you need to know. But more importantly, it can help you understand that you need to adjust your ad spending to be the couple weeks leading up to Mother's Day. So now the question is, how do you gather this information on your audience? And the answer is simple. Go to where they are and talk to them. Yeah, this is way easier said than done, but unlocking that information about your audience is probably the single most important thing that you could possibly do about running a successful business. Maybe you can do this after a purchase is made. You can simply have a short conversation with a person and be able to pick up on a lot of these details. I will say though that if you start asking direct questions, your audience will likely not want to participate unless they're given something in return, which you could give a 10% off coupon. And to learn the 4 things that you need to know about your audience, if you were to give that 10% off coupon, you will have made many times that investment. If you like these videos, please let me know by liking and subscribing. And if there's any questions you have about business or marketing, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the next episode of The Zwelly Show. Thanks.